Hey everybody, how you all doing? And welcome to a very special video. Now, since the start of the week, I wanted to do a little bit of an exploration, a deep dive, if you will, into this mystery synergy, which is all around PsychoMan. That synergy is called Pure Hatred and has definitely got me head scratching of who or what this champion could be. So yes, indeed, let's go on a little bit of an exploration. All research and information can be found in the description down below. But let's rule out some characters, and in particular one which is not very pleasant. And there was a Twitter post that went up and just saying whether or not it could be hate monger. This character is actually really uncomfortable to talk about, especially from a point of what kind of prejudices and as well who he went out to harm, and as well his creation is something, again, as I said, I'm uncomfortable talking about, and is the reason that Kabam have very quickly responded to that particular Twitter post to say, I can say with total confidence that there is absolutely no way in which this character would come to MCOC. I guess the same questions could be asked of Red Skull, but you know, why was he in the movies? We'll go back in time and ask Marvel why they decided one of the very first movies to put in a character like Red Skull. Why was he back in Avengers Endgame and he was, you know, blasted to where he was? I guess it's just down to this is a particular character that has own agendas, but at the same time was kind of like his level of prejudice we didn't see. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the politics around it, but yeah. Bit of a weird start to the video, but let's continue on. Let's try and find out who this more than likely will be. All that aside, we've got to find out who is this character. Funnily enough, there was actually this really cool point. So if you've seen some of the recent Marvel Contest of Champions posts from Twitter, you'll know they mention about a puppet master. And yes, you can take this with a pinch of salt, whether or not you believe that Puppet Master could be a character of interest. But funnily enough, this did get me thinking about what the Puppet Master can actually do. The Puppet Master may mentally control the minds of others. The process requires him to carve the colour of an effigy of his intended victim from radioactive clay. And that's brought from the Wundagore Mountain. If you remember, that is where of origin Scarlet Witch comes from. Or I think it's Agatha Harkness, one of the two. It's kind of like it all kind of links together, and especially with Magneto. So could there be manipulation or controlling of minds, or at least kind of like implanting things of, well, hate? Possibly. But even though the character is quite weak, it could be a process of actually putting this character, if Kabam are hinting at this. But look, that's just me clutching at what seems to be good circumstance. And that good circumstances is, in this post it says Puppet Master, and that's how our Puppet Master likes it, whoever this Puppet Master might be. Are they referring to PsychoMan, which then throws off the chase and puts us back to potentially square one, especially because, let's face it, that is what the character does. PsychoMan is reflecting different types of feelings for different types of people, instilling things like hate, instilling things like other stuff. So yes, that's what maybe that post's about. But again, as I said, we're back to square one. So we then have to go and have a look at PsychoMan and have a look at associations to go, look, is there a tangible link to what could be something associated with hatred? Whether or not it's PsychoMan having hatred for another character, therefore meaning what the question marks are. But what if it is another Fantastic Four related villain? I'm just going to throw it out there are some other villains there, like Miracle Man, Blastar, Overmind, Nicholas Scratch, Devos the Devastator, who funnily enough has a link to the Skrulls. But you also have Oculus and Hyperstorm and Abraxas, which any one of those could be linking characters, but I don't know if it's overly obvious. So again, we go back to the drawing board, but at the same time we look at some really cool options. One such option could be really right in your face, like Sire Hate, who is the embodiment of hate itself and can appear male or female, but generally chooses a masculine form, possesses tremendous cosmic power, normally affects being by causing feelings of hatred. He is immortal and immune to conventional forms of harm, disease or aging. He can teleport from place to place. And you might be thinking to yourself, Rich, that's glaringly obvious if they did that. Well, it's Kabam at the end of the day. But it's fun to have a look at the different options. But it's not one of the best options that I have on the table. Because you have to ask yourself, who does PsychoMan hate? Because that's the other thing. Like, who would he have pure hatred against? And have a look at the different connotations. PsychoMan, for sure, would have massive hatred towards Perla. Perla was a character that overthrown and took over his homeland. That was in the microverse, so the micro realm, micro universe, whatever you want to call it. She took over it, so definitely he would have hatred over this character. But when I read up a little bit about her, she seems pretty weak when it comes to a character build. She doesn't have anything going for her except for a headband that can block the rays of PsychoMan. That's it. So definitely, I do not think this could be an option of a character to be put into the game. But there is a comic book link that interests me, and that is Captain Marvel, and that's the Genis Vale version of Captain Marvel. In that particular edition, you see Genis Vale, but also you see a futuristic evil twin character of Genis Vale called Fred. I'm not kidding. He's literally called Fred. But I'll be brutally honest, it is a shot in the dark with that Fred. And the Genis Vale thing, even though I think that PsychoMan would have just cause to have hatred over Captain Marvel, I don't think it really presents itself as a potential option. And funny enough, even though I didn't look to mention it, there was this moment where I was researching and found that Kitty Pryde as Shadowcat, because apparently that was a thing. Hashtag comic books are weird, but the stories match up. That Shadowcat would be with Spider-Man, and then, you know, PsychoMan would have some kind of hatred over her. But I do think at times like this, in order to narrow this down, it's the best thing to say is it's more than likely going to be a Kabam red herring. Where what Kabam do is they will literally throw an obscure character off the chase of everybody to make them think that it could be anyone, everything, and potentially no one that you know of. But I'd like to think that it will be one of the ones that we've mentioned today. Personally, of the list, as I said, I do believe that it could be any one of the characters. My personal opinion is I'd like to see Puppet Master, based on the manipulation of hate that he can create with the controlling of clay, or creating clay-like things, like, as I said, kind of like voodoo dolls and kind of voodooism. But yeah, like with this character, he could like create stuff around his fist and then punch, or he could create himself in a more clay-like body, as he's done in the comic books and the comic book run. Even though it does seem far-fetched, we could see another type of character, and I'd love to see Genis Vale, the Captain Marvel of past, just because the character looks sick. Just how cool would that be? I mean, I know it looks similar to like Void, but like, it's Genis Vale. But in any case, lots of potential options. And what are your thoughts? Who do you think it is? Put it in the comment section down below. And thank you very much for watching this video. And check out some other content posted up here. And also Rich's Realm, which is over there, for Marvel Realm and Champions based content. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.